We're here this morning with women's head basketball coach Maria Wiltzius and men's head basketball coach Charles Belt. Good morning, guys. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Absolutely, thank you.
You guys are a couple weeks from starting your season. Are we excited?
Very much so, yeah.
What changes from last season, from this season, can we expect to see from both of you?
Yeah, I think for me, we are less than 2 weeks away from our first game. We play on Halloween. I think the changes you'll see is, one is we've gotten actually younger. I brought in a lot of true freshmen. So trying to get them their experience and putting them in positions to try and be successful. They're going to make mistakes, but it's going to be learning mistakes. I think will be what is noticed the most. I think playing style is very similar to last year, being able to defend and hold teams under their average. And then, again, same thing on offense of being very structured and organized and just putting the girls in the best positions to be successful will be very similar. But we're younger, so that'll be the biggest difference.
Yeah, for us, it's uniquely the opposite. We're much older. Made a very big point of emphasis to recruit transfers this past off season, and so we brought in 8, 9 impact transfers, I believe, Division II, NAIA, high level NAIA guys, a couple junior college guys. So we'll have an older roster. The other thing that I think is from just visually the basketball will resemble the way I played when I was coaching at William Woods, being able to kind of get back to my style. Last year's roster wasn't really constructed in a way to play the way that I like to play. And I enjoy being an inside out coach. I enjoy being able to pressure a little more defensively and being able to play with a pace, not necessarily running gun. I'm not that type of coach, but a pace that we are constantly moving and cutting and our spacing. And I just think that when you have older players, they've got a little more experience. They understand that. They pick it up a little faster. And so I do believe that you're going to see that from us.
Perfect. But with your older transfers that have come in, how have you been able to structure your teamwork and have those guys working together?
That's the ultimate question. It's funny, right? That's the ultimate question. That's the biggest challenge, I think, for us this year. On paper, this is as talented a team as I've put together since 18, 19, maybe. I mean, we have each guy in his own right can carry a team. The question now is selflessness, sacrificing for the bigger cause of winning, and trying to dribble less, pass more. It's kind of a thing that that we're saying and that we're working on. And so, yes, I guess the answer to that question is we won't have that answer until it actually counts,
right?
Until it's time. I mean, in practice, it's been phenomenal, but I've been doing this long enough to know that there's nobody in the stands in practice. There's no box scores. There's nobody watching a live stream. And so when the lights are on and the eyes are on, can our guys not care about me? And we'll find that out on November 1st.
Absolutely. Maria, you didn't really get a preseason last season. Just kind of got thrown into it. How have you taken advantage of that this year?
Yeah. We started pretty much the week after school started because I wanted to get my hands on them as soon as I could, with them all being a lot younger, 5 true freshmen coming in. And yeah, we went weightlifting, conditioning for as long as we could before we were allowed to actually start practicing multiple days a week, utilizing all of our facilities. Weight room, we went to Guyman and Ransom Hills. We used the Noble Center, we used the pool, just using everything we have here to our advantage. And yeah, it's been phenomenal. And then obviously the however many days of practice we've had like 20 some practices now. It's been great to be able to actually slowly put things in and take our time where we need to focus on certain things because we have the younger minds that need that time to learn the offense and learn how to read a screen and things like that. So it's been way better than 2 days.
Not as rushed as last season.
Yes.
After your first couple scrimmages this season, what things do you see that need to be fine-tuned or tweaked before you play on Halloween?
I'll go. Okay. Yeah, before Halloween, we got to figure out how to take care of the basketball. I think is probably number 1 on our list. If not number 2, I think our defense needs to be right there with it of we need to fine tune, and we need to try to find a way to be perfect on defense, as perfect as we can be. That needs to be our strong suit, and then just being able to possess the basketball and not give it away. And if we do turn it over, make it be a dead ball turnover so we can go back and set up our defense. Right. If we can eliminate the live ball turnovers, that'll help as well. But I think those two have been the biggest wake-up calls in playing those scrimmages, as well as just the pace of how college basketball is played. The freshmen are learning. It is a different game.
Right, a little different than high school.
Yes, people are athletic. People can move. People move laterally. It's way different. So handling that pressure as well has been. That's why I set it up how I did. They needed to see that and experience that before it counts.
Yeah, our scrimmage was great for multiple reasons. First, it was the first year I'd done a scrimmage as a head coach. I had never done a scrimmage before, and because we had so many new parts, I just knew we needed to get out there and see somebody else. First off, it was great, humbling for me because there were two things that we were trying to do defensively that I thought we were going to be capable of, and once we actually put it out there, I realized that with this particular group, it doesn't work the way that I thought it would. And so this week in practice, we were able to wholesale change two elements of our defense that now looks way, way better. And I'm excited for us to actually go out and do that. The other part for us from a scrimmage standpoint was, as a coach, it's not just figuring out who to put on, who gets on the bus. It's then getting them in the right seat. And you don't figure out your rotations until you begin to start to play someone else. And I think anyone that saw our scrimmage, I mean, everybody got a chance to get out there and play, which is great. As a coach, we know in a 40-minute basketball game, the reality is 8, maybe 9 people play. 10 if there's emergencies, foul trouble, etc. So that part of it is really difficult to figure out. And scrimmages gives you an opportunity to identify, I'm trying to think of the best way to word it, to identify the guys that are going to be in the rotation more so than this is how we play, this is what we're going to do. And I think that's a huge component, is understanding who's going to sub in for who, what groups work really well together, what groups don't work well together, and quite frankly, what guys are practice players versus gamers. There's still game slippage. And so it was really good for us. It was good for me to make 2 X's and O adjustments. And then it was also good to kind of fine tune, okay, this is where I think we're going to be from a rotation standpoint.
Well, with all that being said, what are some of the goals you and your team have set for this season?
You want me to go first? Well, I think for us, of course, the goal of improving. When you look at last year, individually as a head coach, it was the worst record I've ever had. So the first component is changing that narrative is the first goal. I think the next thing that we talk about, and we're not afraid to say it, is being a team that finishes in the top 5 in this conference. The reason for that is the Sooner is the number 1 conference in the country for men's basketball and averages between 4 to 6 teams in the national tournament. If you can get right there in that 4-5 game, you put yourself on the bubble, essentially. And of course, if you're able to do better than that in the regular season, you give yourself a great opportunity to play in March. And we didn't construct this team with these particular transfers and this amount of top-end talent to just say, hey, we want to be 500. That would be calling the sky red when it's blue. That's not what we're going to do. I've never been that coach. And so we've put this group together. These guys want to win. They, again, are willing to sacrifice for winning. We have to see it be tangible in games. Right. But if we're able to do all that, we feel we're as talented as any team we're going to play this year.
Absolutely.
For us, it's not top 5 in the league, but because our league is just as good on the women's side as the men's side. 6 of the 13 teams went to the national tournament last year. So it's not an easy fight, but it's a fight we're willing to put up. I think our main goal is to every single night be 100% prepared, and then be able to be as respectful and competitive every night that we go out, whether it's at home or on the road. Being able to play the way we want to play with our pace, our defense, and when it gets to the fourth quarter, if we can keep it close to then, anything can happen. It's still women's basketball. Anything can happen. So kind of those two things, and of course, we want to continue to improve the culture, improve what this program has been the past few years, and just completely 180 change it from what it's been, and be able to notch on a few more wins along the way. So that's ours. Yeah.
Well, we're excited for you guys. We're just a couple weeks away. You guys are at home, your season opener, so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
So good luck to y'all this season, and thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.